dear students, in the last session, we discussed one aspect of liberalism, inside looking out theory. And today we will discuss war, democracy, and free trade. And our discussion is based on a chapter written by Scott Burchell in the book Theories of International Relations. This book is edited by Richard Devtok and Jackie True. They are the editors. War, Democracy, and Free Trade. So the authors discuss the linkage between war, democracy, and free trade in this section. They say the root of modern liberal internationalism go back a long time. The roots of modern liberal internationalism. What is internationalism? What is international? Yes? International. Between nations, among nations. International. Intranational, within a nation. Intranational means within a nation. International means between nations, among nations. Internationalism. Internationalism means relations between nations, cooperation, trade, okay, friendship. This is called internationalism. Liberal internationalism, friendly relations, cooperative relations. This is called liberal internationalism. The roots of modern liberal internationalism go back a long time. They were laid in the 18th and 19th centuries. Prospects for peace. Liberal thinkers were asking one big question. What was the one big question? How can the world become peaceful? How can the world become peaceful? In other words, how can we eliminate war? How can we bring an end to war? They believed peace needs certain conditions first. Peace does not happen by accident. Peace does not happen by accident. We have to make effort for it. We have to make effort. They reached two main conclusions. The liberals reached two main conclusions. What were the two main conclusions? Number one, democracy is better than aristocracy. Democracy is better than aristocracy. What is aristocracy? Aristocracy is rule of minority. Rule of minority. There are few people who rule. And what is democracy? It is rule of majority. Rule of majority. Majority rules. So the liberal philosophers, they reached this conclusion that democracy is better than aristocracy. Free trade is better than isolation. This is the second conclusion. Free trade is better than isolation and self-sufficiency. It is also called protectionism. It is also called protectionism. So they believed democracy reduces the chances of war. Democracy reduces the chances of war. They believed free trade connects people and countries. If there is free trade among countries, the countries become connected. These ideas continue to shape modern liberal thinking. These two ideas, they are the basis of modern liberalism. For liberals, peace is the normal condition of human life. Peace is the normal condition of human life. Peace is not strange. Peace is not unusual. It is normal. It is natural. Peace is natural. Immanuel Kant even said peace can be permanent. Peace can be permanent. He believed lasting peace is possible. Lasting peace, perpetual peace is possible. Liberals believe the laws of nature support harmony. Harmony, when people live in with good relations, that is called harmony. They believe cooperation between people is natural. Liberals believe. So, war is not natural. Peace is natural. War is not natural. War is irrational. War is irrational because it causes bloodshed. So many lives are lost and so much damage is done to the properties. So it is not wise. It is not rational. War does not come from human nature itself. War does not come from human nature itself. Liberals believe in progress. Liberals believe human beings can improve. Human beings can improve. You don't have YouTube? These people, you don't have YouTube? That is not, that the internet is not working? So I can share the slides with you on your WhatsApp. So you can use the slides. Let me share. Yes, I have shared the slides on your group. So you can use the slides. Yes. Have you got? I am on slide 27. So liberals believe human beings can improve. They believe the human condition can be perfected. Human condition can be perfected. It can make the best. It can be made the best. They trust in reason. Humans have reason. Other animals, they cannot reason. Humans can reason. Liberals trust the reason. They trust in the human ability to grow and to develop. Because of this, they believe war can be removed from human life. War can be removed from human life. Many liberal thinkers share one key idea, one basic idea. They include Rousseau, Kant, Cobden, Schumpeter, and Doyle. They are liberal thinkers. They share one common idea. What is that idea? They argue wars are not started by ordinary people. Common citizens, they do not start wars. Who starts wars? Who start wars? Wars are started by militaristic and undemocratic governments. Governments start war, who have a passion for war, militaristic. They are militaristic. They enjoy wars. Many governments. Wars are started by militaristic and undemocratic governments. These governments fight wars for their own interests. The governments fight wars for their own interests. What are their interests? They want more power. They fight wars for more power. They want more wealth. They want more territory. They capture territories of other countries. Russia is fighting wars against Ukraine and it is occupying its territories. Wars are planned by a small warrior class. Small warrior class. It starts the wars. Common citizens, ordinary people, they do not want war. They do not start wars. This group benefits from conquest and expansion. Conquest means victory, okay? Conquering the territories of others, occupying the territories of others, that is conquest. This group, this small group, these governments, they benefit from conquest, they benefit from expansion. Thomas Paine was a philosopher. He wrote a book in 1791, The Rights of Man. In that book, Paine criticized this war system, a system which has wars. He said, war protects the power of princes and rulers. War protects the power of princes and rulers. It also keeps soldiers, diplomats, and arms manufacturers employed. It also keeps soldiers, diplomats, and arms manufacturers employed. It strengthens tyranny over ordinary people. War gives governments excuses. They say, we need more tax, we need more money for war. So it gives the governments excuses. They raise taxes, they hire more people, give jobs to more people. They increase control over citizens. During the wars, they say it is emergency and they get more powers. But ordinary people are naturally peaceful. Common people, common citizens, they are naturally peaceful. They do not want war. They are dragged into war by unrepresentative rulers, unrepresentative, who do not represent the people. Liberals compare war to a disease. Liberals compare war to a disease. They call it a cancer on the political body. War is a disease, war is a cancer. But they believe this disease can be cured. Liberals believe the disease of war can be cured. It can be treated. Humans have the ability to fix it. This disease can be fixed. This disease can be treated. Since the 18th century, liberals have offered two main cures for war. What are the two main cures? The first cure is democracy. The second cure is free trade. These are the two cures for war in the view of the liberals. Democracy weakens ruling elites because in democracy people have more confidence, people have more power, people have more freedom. Okay, so this way the government becomes limited government. The government becomes weak relative to dictators. It limits their ability to use violence. Democracy limits the ability of the rulers to use violence. Democracy reduces their power to start wars because the elected governments, the democratic governments, they need votes. And if they drag the nation into war, in the next poll, will they win the election? No. People will not vote for them because they pushed the nation into war. So the elected government, the democratic government, would avoid war. Free trade removes artificial barriers. Free trade among nations, among countries. It removes artificial barriers. It connects people across borders. People are connected with other countries, with other nations. It helps create one wide human community, wider human community at the global level, at the world, in the whole world. Schumpeter believed war comes from aggressive elites who are aggressive, who invade, who start wars, who are jingoistic. Schumpeter believed war comes from aggressive elites, power elites, upper classes, powerful people, elites. These elites are not truly representative, which start wars. They push ordinary people into war benefits industries which make weapons. They benefit from wars. And sometimes the arms industries, they bribe the rulers to start wars. Do you know this? Sometimes they bribe, they lobby for it, they make efforts to start a war so that people buy their weapons. Benefits military aristocrats. They become more powerful when war is in progress. But it harms ordinary citizens who fight. It is harmful. It is harmful for common people. Immanuel Kant believed Republican governments would reduce war. Republican governments, democratic governments, they would reduce war. In such governments, rulers are accountable. In democratic governments, rulers are accountable. People can question them. People can ask them, why do you do this? Why are you starting wars? Why are you making these policies? So they are accountable. Individual rights are respected in democracies. In republics, citizens must consent to war. The rulers cannot start war without permission in democracies. The final decision rests with the people. In America, it is required that the Congress, the American Parliament, allows the government to start a war. But the presidents, they violate that rule. They start war without permission from the Parliament. Parliament is it consists of representatives of the people. Okay, so generally, the parliaments, they do not allow to start a war. Generally, so the presidents know the parliament, the Congress will not permit, so they just start it. The final decision rests with the people. When citizens carry the burden of war, they think carefully. People think carefully because they know if war starts, they may lose their lives, they may lose their properties. They are less likely to choose war. Common people are less likely to choose war. For both Kant and Schumpeter, war comes from minority rule. Minority rule is undemocratic rule, authoritarian rule. However, Kant did not fully support democracy as we understand it today. Kant was not, in fact, his idea of democracy was different. Liberal states protect individual rights. These rights include equality before the law. These rights include free speech, speech, freedom of expression. These rights include civil liberties, liberty for example, freedom of movement, freedom of education, freedom of business, freedom of job. These are civil liberties, freedom of marriage, like that. These include respect for private property rights. Human rights include respect for private property. These rights also include representative government. People have the right to have a representative government. It is also right of the people in liberalism. Such states have less desire for war. Such states, democratic states, Republican states, they have less desire for war. They have less appetite for conflict. For liberals, peace depends on building legitimate domestic systems everywhere. Legitimate domestic legitimate, which are based on law. Legitimacy. As Doyle puts it, when citizens who suffer in war elect their leaders, war becomes impossible. War becomes impossible if the governments are elected. The ideas of domestic legitimacy and peaceful foreign policy were developed further. Thinkers like Doyle and Russet expanded these ideas. They restated Kant's idea of a Pacific Federation. Pacific Federation. This idea was given by Immanuel Kant. This federation grows as more states adopt republican systems. Republican is almost democratic. Okay, democratic systems. Doyle argues liberal democracies are special. Liberal democracies are special. They can create peaceful relations with each other. Liberal democracies, shared political systems make this possible. Their shared yes, they all believe in the rule of law. Liberal democracies all believe in the rule of law. They all believe in individual rights. They all believe in equality before the law. Liberal philosophers. They all rely on popular consent. Because they share these values, they trust each other. Liberal democratic states, they trust each other. Sometimes wars start because there is lack of trust deficit. It also leads to wars. When states become democratic, they trust each other, and it lessens the chances of war. They do not question each other's legitimacy. They form what Doyle called the separate peace. They form a separate peace. This does not mean democracies never fight. This does not mean that democracies never fight. Sometimes they do fight. They start wars sometimes. They may still fight non-democratic states. They fight wars against non-democratic states. Okay, you know, America has fought wars against Afghanistan. Is Afghanistan a democratic state? No. It fought war against against Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was a democratic ruler? No. So yes, yes. Libya, was it democratic? No. So Iran, is it democratic? No, it is not democratic. Although elections take place, but real power is with the spiritual leader. Okay, the spiritual leader is not elected. The spiritual leader is not elected, and people elect only the president and the parliamentarians. So actually, the real power lies with the spiritual leader in Iran. So the democratic theorists, democratic philosophers, they say Iran is not a democracy. They may still fight non-democratic states. Democracies often show willingness to fight authoritarian regimes. Conflicts in the Middle East and Central Asia show this clearly. Still, liberals believe the best hope for ending war is spreading liberal democracy. Liberals believe the best hope for ending war is spreading liberal democracy. Here you could ask me a very important question. India is a democracy? Pakistan is a democracy?
Yes, sir.
Then why do they fight wars?
जब यहाँ पर बात होती थी उस टाइम पे यहाँ मार्शल लॉ
Last year, there was a war last year. There was no martial law in Pakistan in 2025. Yes. Your guess is close to the yes to the actual answer. In fact, there are two types of democracies. Anybody knows what are the two types of democracies? It is that is one typology, one classification. There is another classification of democratic states. According to that classification, there are two types of democracies: consolidated democracies and transitionary democracies. Repeat. Consolidated democracies. Repeat. And transitionary democracies. Okay, now we need to understand what are the consolidated democracies. Anybody can explain? What are the consolidated democracies? Consolidated democracies are those where elections have taken place 6 times consecutively. Change of power, change of government has taken place peacefully 6 times in a row, consecutively, without break. Those democracies are consolidated. Consolidated. They have become solid. Okay? And the theorists, the scholars of democracy, they collected data from all over the world, they analyzed it, and they found in some cases, even in some countries where elections had taken place 5 times, some of them reverted back to authoritarianism. Democracy failed in some cases. So it means even if elections have taken place 5 times, there are chances of failure of democracy. So it is still in transition. But they noticed all democracies where elections have taken place 6 times consecutively, none of them None of them has reverted back to authoritarianism so far. And so far, this theory holds. Now, do you see Pakistan as a consolidated democracy? No, Pakistan is not a consolidated democracy. It is a transitionary democracy. And transitionary democracies are not democracies as such. They are not democracy. So democratic theory of peace, it applies only to the states which are consolidated democracies. And this democratic theory of peace does not apply to countries like Pakistan. Even now, Indian democracy has become doubtful because minorities are not safe in India, and Kashmir Kashmiris are fighting for their right to self determination, but they are denied. So there are issues with the Indian democracy, serious issues with Indian democracy as well. Okay. Still, liberals believe the best hope for ending war is spreading liberal democracy. So the liberal philosophers say if we want to bring an end to war in the world, there should be democracy in all the countries. When all countries become democratic, they will not start wars. So this way, we can eliminate war. Expanding the zone of peace from the center to the edges of the world is key. This belief also shaped Fukuyama's optimism after communism collapsed. Do you know Fukuyama, Francis Fukuyama? His famous book is End of History. What is the name of his book? End of History. There are two main sides to what is called democratic peace theory. Democratic peace theory has two main sides. One side focuses on institutions, democratic institutions, parliaments, political parties, human rights, human dignity, mutual respect. These are uh, these are also institutions. Do you know? Respecting each other is also an institution. Human dignity is also an institution. Human rights is also an institution. Institution is a very broad term. Whatever is instituted, the practices, the traditions, they are all institutions. Telling the truth is an institution. Okay, helping others is an institution. Charity is an institution. So cooperative behaviors, cooperative actions, cooperative things, okay, the peaceful traditions, they are all institutions. So one side of the democratic theory of peace focuses on institutions. Elections limit leaders. When elections are held, they put some limitations on the power of the leaders. Public opinion matters in democracies. The rule of law also matters. These are also institutions. Rule of law is an institution. Public opinion is also an institution. Power is divided in democratic countries. Power is not concentrated in one hand or in hands of the few. So when power is concentrated in the hands of a dictator, he is he or she is more likely to abuse that power. Okay, when power is dispersed, there are checks and balances. The leaders become less likely to abuse that power because there are checks and balances on them. Power is divided. These checks and balances make war harder to start. Make war harder to start. The other side focuses on norms and values. The other side of the democratic theory of peace, it focuses on norms and values. Liberal democracies prefer compromises. Compromise. They prefer negotiation. These are norms and values. Negotiation. They are used to resolving conflicts peacefully at home. Both explanations together make the argument stronger. Now, I'm going back to slide 120. Liberal democracies prefer compromise. So, making compromises, it is the basic requirement of democratic behavior, democratic politics. It is written in all books of democracy. All philosophers agree on this. Philosophers of democracy, theorists of democracy, scholars of democracy, they have written in their books, in their research papers. It is a basic requirement of democratic politics, democratic behavior, making compromise. Why wars occur? After all, why civil wars occur? When leaders don't make compromises. So if the leaders on the both sides they don't make compromise, civil war will start. The fight will start. Okay, there's no other way to resolve the disagreement, resolve the conflict. So to peacefully resolve the conflict, it is basic requirement that leaders compromise, give and take. They make deals. Deals are not bad. All deals are not bad. Democratic deals are good. When you go to a shop, the you want to buy a suit, okay, dress. The shopkeeper demands 5,000. You may say no, it is worth 2,000. I will pay 2,000, and you start bargaining. In fact, you are dealing with the shopkeeper. You are making a deal. Finally, roughly 3,500. You pay, and he accepts. The shopkeeper accepts. So you made a deal. So deals are good if they are within the principles. If they don't violate the basic principles, deals are good. Political deals are good. Political deals are not bad. Generally, Pakistanis tend to believe that making deals is bad. No, when you make deals, you avoid war, you avoid fight. Okay, so making compromises is a democratic behavior. Give and take. Give and take. You make the other party accept some of your demands, and you yourself accept some of the demands of the other party. This is called compromise. And this is the peaceful way of resolving the disagreement. If people don't believe in compromises, they have only one way to resolve. What is that way? Violence, use of force. फिर डंडे से करेंगे ना. तो अगर डंडे से बचना है तो दिस इज द बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट. Compromise, deals, and negotiations. Slide 121. They prefer negotiation. So negotiation is also a basic democratic behavior. And let me tell you, you are quite young, fresh minds. If you find a leader, a party which does not believe in making compromises and negotiations, that party or that leader is not democratic. It is not democracy. Whatever the excuse, no excuse is acceptable. This is a basic requirement of a democratic attitude, democratic behavior, democratic politics. That all parties, all leaders, democratic parties, democratic leaders, they believe, they accept, they make compromises, and they engage in negotiations with other political actors. If a leader, if a party does not believe in negotiation and compromises, that leader, that party is not democratic. It will lead the nation into dictatorship. This is what happened in Germany when Hitler became a dictator. He did not believe in compromises and negotiations, and democracy was killed. And ultimately, now the Germans are under American occupation. Okay, they are used to resolving conflicts peacefully at home. Democratic democratic states are used to resolving conflicts peacefully at home. Both explanations together make the argument stronger. Liberal democracies do not usually fight each other, but realists criticize this idea. Realists. We will study realism after discussing liberalism. Realists criticize this idea. Realists question how we define liberal democracy. They ask about secret or covert actions. They ask why democracies fight authoritarian states if institutions limit war. Realists say democratic peace may only show a pattern. It may not be a strict law of politics. John Rawls extends the argument further. He says liberal societies are also less likely to fight non liberal states. So, John Rawls is a liberal philosopher, liberal thinker. He says liberal societies are also less likely to fight non liberal states. Authoritarian states are more likely to start wars against non-liberal, non-democratic states. So, although democratic states fight wars against undemocratic states, but even then they are less likely to fight wars even against undemocratic states than the authoritarian states. Authoritarian states are more likely to fight wars against all others. They will fight only for self defense. John Rawls says liberal democratic states will fight wars for their self defense, or to defend allies, or to stop severe human rights abuses. However, US led wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya challenge this claim. So sometimes the case is different. Democratic states also wage wars for their personal ambition, their own self interest. These wars raised doubts about the limits of liberal restraint. The Arab Spring was a series of popular uprisings. These revolts began within societies themselves. They were not created by Western powers. Surprisingly, Western governments did not strongly support them, even though the revolts opposed. Dear students, we have to stop here. In fact, at 10:30, there is a laptop distribution program. So I have to visit the nursing school. In the next class, we will resume from slide 141.